This is session 4 of Night Slow Agents, Dracula Dossier, etc., etc. It's been 6 weeks, so we're going to attempt a little recap, just to jog everyone's memory. Continuity has been turned off for this session because it's been 6 weeks. Trying to remember. So our last session, Morocco Mole, the agents travelled to Morocco to try and speak to, rescue Olivia Liu, who had popped up as a name. Where did the name come? The name was linked to a laptop or a dossier that had been stolen by can't remember his name, by a chap who was in the MI5 safe house in Romney Marsh. What's his name? Some person. On Anton Dedopovic. Yes, he had his last meeting was a meeting with Olivia Liu. So you flew down to Morocco. In Morocco, I believe you caught up with some of the some bad guys. We found a hotel. Had a fight with some bad guys, which didn't go too well for you in the hotel room. Then you followed her, and she had been captured, or she was in the back of a van held by a rather strong individual and a you don't really want to use the word sorceress, but some crazy woman who had mentalist powers, as it were. So managed to grab her. You got a flight back to Gatwick and ended up in Slough House for the debrief.
Come back by an EasyJet flight, wasn't it?
Something like an EasyJet flight. So the debrief kind of took you through stuff that she'd found out, and you kind of left it with you sitting around discussing clues and deciding what to do next. So there are a number of avenues, a number of clue areas that you had picked up, pointing to different places. Romania, Odessa, the Crimea, that's kind of linked into one place. Gibraltar, and there was a loose piece of information about Ireland. Okay, so
yes,
let's start with Odessa and what's it called? Ukraine. No, it's not that book. It's not that one. No, is that one? No, hang on, I've lost this guy. Okay, so NATO. There was a Canadian NATO general who had his briefcase and laptop stolen by this Anton guy. The briefcase was given to. Don't think you had the briefcase. Bear with me 1 second. Open the door. 1 second.
must admit I've forgotten where we were up to.
How do you mean? Do you?
In terms of exactly where we stood at the end of the last session, I have forgotten what sort of clues we had, and
Oh,
so
did
I.
Okay, so we were. The briefcase was given to a chap in Odessa, an American agent who had worked for CIA. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Not Hugh Draper.
No, Donald Carroll.
Don?
Donald Carroll. He's the guy that has the
Briefcase.
So a couple of other names popped up. Yes, that's Crimea. And the other thing that Olivia had found was let's go back to Ukraine and Crimea. Up from Crimea, Odessa was linked, and there is an airport in which Anton had seen a rather large helicopter lifting some weird snow craft into the back of that gigantic big Anatolov aircraft, and he'd seen it was flying to the Ural Mountains in Russia. That's more or less that segment. Romania. Now, this was a mining company that was doing some digging at an old Romanian castle that looked rather dodgy. Weird that they're doing some kind of unsanctioned archaeological dig, an excavation, and you had seen satellite imagery of the castle that looked like it. She had some information on the castle, which I am trying to find. Which looked like they were trying to dig something up.
Yeah, there were photographs.
Yes. So that's Romania, and you know the name of the castle. Gibraltar. There was the guys that had found that you'd attacked you in Marrakesh. They were hired out of Gibraltar. What else was there? That's Ukraine, Romania, Gibraltar. Now, taking a step back, when you came across the woman in the house in England, the vampire, and the crazy ghoul thing that you beat to death, she indicated that she was bitten by something in Dundrak Fjords in Ireland.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Clerkenwell, right? Yes, I think that could be it. When I remember anything else, I'll add that in. That.
Yes, what's the connection though with this Dundrak or whatever? That's also a castle, I think.
Yes, that's a castle in Ireland that has some weird links to Bram Stoker. I think his brother mentioned it as part of folklore or something, but it kind of it's unlimited sources.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Proserpine.
oh yeah.
So HMS Proserpine? Porcupine.
Proserpine or something. Yeah.
Proserpine. Yes.
Persephone. Is that what you said? Persephone?
No, Persephone is something different. It's got the Persephone is no. Ignore Persephone. That's That's a different scenario that I was getting mixed up because the names are quite similar. Proserpine, I want to say. I'm going to go back.
Proserpine's the base, which is treated like a ship.
Yes, so this is a
That's right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Proserpine. Is it?
It's like the cadet thing, sea cadet thing.
Yes. So it's the name is going over to a concrete frigate or whatever it's called, so that naval rules still apply. And what you would learn about that is that before she died, the vampire, let's call her a vampire, in the house in England had said that she had some kind of weird vision, stating that he was still alive, Varney, and being held at Proserpine. I think that is it. Oh no! Obviously, the other thing that was floating around was weird connections to Kim Philby and his father, St. John Philby. There was a theft of something in the museum, British Museum, and Philby had popped up again. Oh, somebody had told you that it was probably, or Guy Burgess had claimed he had killed T.S.T.E. T.E. Lawrence, T.F. Lawrence, T.E. Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia. He claimed he was driving a truck that drove his motorbike off the road and killed him. All of his documents, papers from his time in the Middle East were given to St. John Philby.
Right.
Kim Philby's dad. I think you found out, pretty sure you found out that Kim Philby and St. John Philby had gone to the River Jordan and taken samples to test to see if they were, it was holy water.
Okay.
I think.
So what
I
do
think
we
that.
what do we want to do about it then? Just
Oh, I know. Actually, obviously, you got the Dracula dossier to read as well.
Yeah.
That was given to you by somebody, by some weird. Oh, by Harker. Somebody called Harker, which you think was Sid Barker,
Yeah.
who was dead in the house in London.
Okay. Who is?
Possible I may have missed. I meant to write this down. I started, but I haven't actually got to it all in one place.
Okay. Who is? I've got Hugh Draper, famous
So
sorcerer.
Hugh
written down.
Draper. This popped up from Olivia Liu. She had some paperwork on Hugh Draper. Now, Middle Ages, this guy had been held in the Tower of London, then mysteriously disappeared, but he had left an etching, a scratching, carving on the wall, which was astronomical in origin. And there was one report that he'd promised to get rid of all of his witchcraft books, and
he didn't. Buried him.
he disappeared. You don't know whether he lived, died, or whatever. But she was hadn't got much further in discussing or looking into him. But he was an interesting character for some reason.
Okay.
So Dundrek Fjall. That was the name of the Irish place. Donald Carroll, Odessa, and you had actually you had two names. The Lisky Bravata was the mafia idiots that are running around that had some link to Donald Carroll and the laptop, but also Arkady Shevlenko. He was Kim Philby's handler. His name came up. So Kim Philby popped up a few times. Anton Dubrovik had told you that he was. He'd spoken to Barbaroga, or Barbaroga had spoken to him and cursed him to find the Spear of Destiny to use it to kill the Morai. Moroi. Think that is it.
Well, and as agents at our house, our overarching objective is what?
So at Slough House, you essentially, once you've cocked up in MI5, you get sent to, unless you get sacked straight away, you get sent to Slough House, and there you will be ground down and hope that you resign. So you're really just pushing paper. Occasionally, as we learned from the series of the books, Jackson Lamb will get you to do something, or something will just fall on your laps that's quite exciting to do. And that's essentially what's happened. Were called in purely to pick up a barrel and a wooden costermonger's wagon and a bit of mud, because that's below MI5. Really, they thought that was, it wasn't terrorist related. Only what you found, you kind of, I don't want to say you're through the looking glass, but you've suddenly discovered vampires and a ghoul are real, and you've killed them. And then you've gone to save somebody because there was, a routine. I say routine. You were sent to Romney Marsh to execute somebody because he was superfluous to requirements. No. And that has linked you to some more vampires, as it were. It's almost as if you've walked into a conspiracy that you had no idea existed, and then suddenly your eyes are opening and you're seeing the conspiracy not so much unravel but unfurl in front of your eyes, if that makes sense.
Yes. So there's some murky stuff going on here, and we definitely need to get to the bottom.
And the other thing you found was that weird symbol, which I'll put it back up again, which was I need both hands for this, which was this thing.
Oh yeah.
Which was the 12. It looked like 12 dukes. Yeah, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? 11? I missed one.
1, 2, 3,
11 dukes.
5, 6.
11.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, 11 dukes of something. I don't think. No, if you peruse the Black Dracula dossier, you've heard the word Edom, but you don't know what it is. It's Edom, something to do. It was in Isaiah, some quote in Isaiah. So it's really you're getting to you're at the edge of a big conspiracy that you're about to wade foot first in, or you run head first into this thing. But it goes back. Could go back centuries. Barney the Vampire was a penny dreadful in the late 1800s. Obviously, Dracula himself is, late
Is
1800s.
Here's a question for you.
Yep.
In our reality, is Dracula? Is he a fictional character or is he?
So the Dracula dossier that you've got,
Are there? Okay, let me put it another way. Are there Peter Cushing Dracula I can't even fucking say it. Excuse me. Dracula movies. Is he the cultural? Is he the cultural phenomenon that he is in real life, so to speak? Right. Okay.
Yes. But you picking up this particular version of the Dracula dossier, it says it's an after-action report, and it looks like they essentially got Bram Stoker to write it to kind of as a bit like saying H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was a
this is what happened, but
but everyone just assumes it's a made up story and kind of forgets it actually happened. So yes, that's the idea behind the Dracula dossier. It's an after action report of what actually happened.
Yeah.
From one person's writing, kind of thing. But you didn't know vampires existed. And all the classic vampire films and whatnot. So your understanding of vampire lore comes from whatever horror films and vampire books you've read.
Right. Okay.
No idea what the origin is, because there is 1,000 different origins for vampires.
Yeah.
The Irish, I think it's either the Irish or the Icelandic edition, beefs up the idea that earthquakes caused them.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, because there was an earthquake when he turned up. So all odd.
Well, I'm gonna. I mean, just geographically, Proserpine is perhaps possibly easier to get to, and as our next stop.
Assuming it's attached to the British Isles.
So we've got to locate it first.
Yes, you don't know where it is. If it's a steel frigate, no, I think is that how they call it, steel frigate?
Concrete frigate, wasn't it? Stone frigate or something?
Stone. That's annoying me now. Let me locations. 169.
Yes, it is stone frigate.
Yeah. Stone frigate, that's it. Other than the peripheral searching and whatnot on it, you didn't really do any in-depth work on. In fact, you've done no in-depth work on each of the individual threads as you were running around Marrakesh. Roddy had got some information about Proserpine, which was the name for the Queen of the Underworld, consort of Pluto, blah blah blah. And it was first cruiser was laid down in 1896. Returned home, collided with a Dutch mail ship off Sheerness in 1901. Remained at Chatham Dockyards. It was scrapped in 1919. It was then transferred to a stone frigate, the Linus Naval Base in Scapa Flow in the Orkney Islands. Linus Base was closed in 1957, and that ended Proserpine's service officially.
So the last known location is in the Orkney Islands.
Yes, Scapa Flow in the Orkney Islands.
Wow.
Anybody else have?
That's not exactly easier to get to.
No.
Than say, well, certainly, I guess it's easier than Odessa, but
Yes, 'cause-
Ireland is just as reachable.
Yeah, so whilst this was this game set, essentially, it was written just before the invasion of Odessa by Russia. First time round.
Okay.
So, or 2014, 2004, no, 2014, later. So then it's set now, which makes getting into Odessa, because it's a war zone. It's interesting.
Well,
Doable. You have to go down to go through the Transnistria region to get to Odessa, and then steal a boat, kind of go through enemy lines to get to Donald Carroll, assuming he's still in Crimea and not moved to Odessa. Again, that requires, having a look, so to speak.
well, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm as a target for now next steps. I would suggest Proserpine or that would be my top choice. But how do you guys feel?
It's the nearest one, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
I do without flying
so-
Continental again.
Yeah, so assuming you kind of go for the this stage is really the research to try and work out what is or what isn't.
okay,
where they
can
are.
we effectively just hit the book sort of thing? Just try and mine this for as much information as we can get out of it, or we can get. So
Does anyone have digital intrusion?
I couldn't tell you. I'm
Looking, check.
I did write character stats down. Look.
I did have. I was going to print them out, but I can't remember what happened to them because obviously I haven't looked at this thing. But
I've got
scenario.
I've got research, and I've got bureaucracy. Not sure that.
Louisa's got digital intrusion 4.
Okay, that's good enough. So digital intrusion test. The difficulty is 5. So,
Roddy.
I'll add a couple, shall I?
there we go. Add a couple. See what you get. Oh yeah. So that's 3.
I've got digital intrusion 3.
So here we go. So you can chuck all 3 at it and then roll a 1d6 and see what you get. You need to get over 5.
Yes.
I've got it at 0. What that's worth.
Okay. Well, if you
so I'll add 2. Come on, where are you?
I'm not sure what's happening now.
For goodness sake.
not sure.
Anthony, you're breaking up at least from my side.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's just not me.
It's popping.
I'm gonna.
So Mike, you've got you've got
sorry.
I've got it at 0.
So you could just. Okay, so
I meant to say I was going to put all 3 on.
Okay, so Roger succeeds. So digital intrusion is a success. We'll let Anthony see what Anthony's going to do when he pops back.
So now,
So
for this session, is my digital intrusion now gone to
0?
0? Yeah.
So in combination with Roddy, you do some searches and find some as part of the government's pay structure for the army. You find that there are listings. There's a very small crew complement. Yep. Breaking up something rotten, Anthony.
At the moment, and Anthony, if you can hear me, I think we're getting about. Oh, now you're back.
Well, that's better. You're better. Back. Oh, gone again.
Does that sound okay?
A bit, yeah, a little bit better. A bit better.
I think we've had about 5 or 10% of what you've been saying in the last few minutes.
Let me go to sheet.
Don't worry, I can hear you.
So I think you said, "Don't worry, you can hear me." You can still hear us. So I'll continue in the hope that your technical issue pops back, as it were. So, and I could always repeat this. So, cool. So you've done a successful digital intrusion. You found this list of crew members that are still listed as ratings on the HMS Proserpine.
Listed?
Yeah. The identifiable personnel are almost all Royal Marines of the Special Boat Service.
Okay.
But
interesting.
They've all been declared dead in training accidents in either Afghanistan or Iraq, but they're still getting paid.
Something's fishy about this.
Very interesting.
SBS. Well,
they also
what's the word? Sequestered?
Seconded.
Seconded.
Although, if they've been declared dead, but still getting paid, that's quite weird. So you did 8. We'll go with that one other piece of information. So you don't know where this thing is, what this thing is, but it's got a bunch of Royal Marines of the SBS on, a bunch of Royal Marines of the Special Boat Service. That's not correct. They're either former Royal Marines who became part of the Special Boat Service. They're not. The Royal Marines are not the Special Boat Service.
Yeah.
So that's poorly written by somebody who doesn't know the difference. So they're SBS guys who were declared dead in training accidents or Afghanistan or Iraq, but appear to be still getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know how many? As I say, if they're getting paid, we can follow the money and see how many accounts are being paid into.
Crew. I don't know exactly how many crew are on the ship because it doesn't say. That's place. Let's say 20.
Okay.
Is what you can find, but that could be higher or lower once I've found the exact amount.
We'll take 20 for now.
Well, yeah, my guess is the number is not that relevant because obviously If I have to throw hundreds of soldiers at you, I will throw hundreds of soldiers at you. But then, so you find 20. Maybe you find all of the A's, for argument's sake. So you surmise that the current Proserpine is a Secret Service stone frigate. As to where, you don't know. Just because their last location of the other ship was in the Orkney Islands, that's almost irrelevant because the original ship was in the Caribbean.
The original stone frigate, yeah?
Yeah. So the original ship was in the Caribbean. The first stone frigate, 57, was in the Linus Naval Base. So it really could be anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
So you could tag the person, or attack one of the. Given your digital intrusion, if you were to digitally tag somebody with either surveillance, electronic surveillance, filch, or conceal. So no, surveillance, electronic surveillance. You could possibly find him using, say, British government financial databases to find innocuous records. So linking, let's call him Adam Smith. Rather than look for Adam Smith's personnel record, what he's doing now, if given that you have a payment, getting the financial records are more difficult. But if you've got his national insurance number and his name, you could find his what fuel, what they called, what gas supply he's got, what mobile phone supply he might have.
I mean, it could be simpler. It could be simpler than that. Could we check his account and just see where he's making?
That's harder to do, and that will probably flag up as somebody having a look at it. But if you were to go a slightly different route, trying to get his address via mobile phone or utility company records, they are looser. If you can find an address, you can get a phone number, because you can. There are ways. So tracing agencies will use nefarious methods to get information on people, but that's kind of low-level information, but enough to know who the person is.
Like reverse engineering.
Yes. So it used to be if somebody had a landline and you knew their address, but you wanted to ring them up, you ring BT at the time and say, look, I've just moved into 37 Dog Street, USA. I know the old tenants used to be. They used to run a baker's out of the place, so we are currently running a baker's. What I'd like to do is keep it the same number, if that's possible, because
want to take the phone number with us.
Yeah,
because so they don't take number. And then sometimes, if you've got the right OIC on the other end of the phone, who would go, oh yeah, I can do that. It's 01293. Or you set up and say you want to change the number. They give you a code. You disconnect. Give it half an hour. You ring up, speak to another person, and go, I've got a code. Just trying to change my number. And I've realised actually I've made a mistake. I don't need to change my number or whatever. You can get the number that way. There are ways to fiddle it around, and that's simpler than going to MI5's website to find the name of the guy, when actually you're going through a slightly different route, and getting it through the back door, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So there are innocuous records. For that, you just need digital intrusion, accounting, or traffic analysis. So these are standard 4s. These aren't hard to do.
Yeah.
you're essentially, because of the way you're doing it. So somebody in the SBS is going to be of a certain age range, because you need to be, to start the process of joining the SBS, you need to have done a number of years service. To be effective, you need to have done a number of years service. So you're looking at a small window when somebody on a super secret mission is going to be physically and of the training to do this. So let's say you've got a 10-year window, maybe even a 5-year window. So therefore, you're looking at people of a certain age. You go back, and you've got only 5 years worth of birthdays to look at. So Adam Smith has to have been born somewhere between, for argument's sake, 80 and 85. So all this Adam Smiths that were born, you look at through the names, and you look for slightly unusual names that aren't, not all the Adam Smiths, but Akira, Stuzagoff, or stranger names which are more unique than any of those people that were born between 80 and 85 that died in Afghanistan and Iraq in training exercises, because those records, births, deaths, and marriages have to be recorded. They're not that hard. You can go on Ancestry and you can go on BMD, which is a free website, to locate births, deaths, and marriages, and you can get the roles. It just requires some research.
Yeah.
So to do that, you simply need digital intrusion and accounting. The digital intrusion, which is essentially going out on Ancestry.
I've got
Well, kind of spent mine already. I don't have much on accounting, but could have.
So
I could have a go on the accounting side.
yes, essentially accounting is obviously understanding how numbers work. So there is a degree of you're essentially Googling dates, and you're essentially Googling numbers and matching numbers up to get a human being out of it. If that makes sense. So accountancy works on a 4.
So I've got 1 on accounting. I'll just put it all 1 on, and let's have a look.
Simple. So a couple of DMB and Ancestry searches. You locate we'll call him Adam Bryce, for want of a better term. He was born 82, died in Afghanistan. He's on the list as still getting paid. From that, you've got a national. You can get a national insurance number, which you already have. Sorry, and you can then find that somebody is using the national insurance number to pay tax, and has got a utility bill under his name, and you get an address in Yorkshire for this chap. It's a flat in Yorkshire, and for all intents and purposes, all of those roads link to a point to this person, Adam Bryce. The address is not that important, but it's somewhere in Yorkshire.
Yes, what do you look at this, guys?
Yeah.
This could be one of them. Adam Bryce.
Bryce.
Could Oh, yeah.
So now we need to do what?
So, follow him. See if you could
Surveillance.
potentially, tag him with a tracker. So, an Apple AirTag, essentially. So, if you could get an AirTag on him, or
On a vehicle.
possibly a vehicle, but you're trying to find you want to find out where he's going to work, essentially.
We
Oh.
definitely know he's living at this address, do we now?
You believe so? He's paying for it.
Right.
Well, we could start by, just by watching the house.
Yeah, why not?
Sounds like a plan.
Um,
How much fuel you got in your? Oh no, it's Steve's character, isn't it?
thing is, if he's at the base for any length of time, we could.
He could be on deployment, yeah.
We could be there for like a week or two. But
You might not find, but you could go and speak to the neighbours and see if there's anything that jumps out as being odd or something that can point you in the right direction.
You mean he comes out at night and he's got fangs, yeah.
Yeah, but there might be, actually, I know he's a long distance lorry driver and he only works in Croatia, or he's a ballet dancer with the Nottingham Hidden Society in the Woods. I don't know. I do know what you're looking for, but there might be something a neighbour could give you that could point you in the right direction, or point you in an area of the right direction. It's a Yorkshire's 4-hour drive.
Yeah, I think we better fill the Volvo up then.
I'm going to see if I can randomly find an address in Yorkshire, just to. Can't spell Yorkshire. Close enough. Oof. Okay, we shall say Leeds. No, York. Let's go with York. Too far. And it's in the that's funny. Woodthorpe region of York.
Okay.
So Woodthorpe region, and it is. That's all. That'd be funny. That's it. This. I just randomly found this. It's D close. So it's a 12. D close. Woodthorpe region. Can't spell Woodthorpe region of Leeds. And we'll say Adam Rice is, for argument's sake, 32.
Okay.
It's going to take you, I'm going to say,
4
hours to drive up there. Yeah, on a good day. You have got access to 2 cars.
Okay.
The family estate thing that Struan Lee's got, and pretty sure River Phoenix has a Golf.
Guess we're going in the Golf then.
So,
yes,
fine, go. Jackson and the rest of them will look after Olivia Lee, find her a safe house, and continue debriefing. And if anything pops up, they'll let you know, or if any questions you need to ask. But Jackson sanctions the drive up there. He's, whilst still grumpy and disrespectful to you all, he's now curious as to how far this rabbit hole. He's expecting it to blow up in your face and it be all complete bollocks, but he'd quite like to watch that.
Mhm.
The 4 hours pass, and you arrive, for argument's sake, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Woodthorpe, Leeds.
Okay.
Oh,
So we don't need to worry too much about the actual map side of things.
Mm.
But what's your initial plan?
Well, let's just go and go up and scope out the address first. See whether it's see whether the house is in use. See what the neighbours are doing.
and
Do you know what I mean? If
and
there's
indeed, and the layout, how best we can surveil the place without drawing attention.
So
Yeah.
the terraced house. So I'm not going to look, but they're terraced houses with a small grass lawn, a parking space, and you as you slowly drive past, there are a couple of people at the front mowing their lawns. There is no car parked in 12D close.
what's the grass
The
like?
grass,
Is
it's slightly longer than other people's. It looks like it hasn't been cut for. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's been cut for a while. There is an oil patch on the floor of the parking space. So whoever's car was there had an oil leak. It's not shiny; it's soaked into the ground. So you kind of that's whoever looks out the window and past. It's been a little while, so he's probably
Not fresh.
wherever he is.
Right. Well, chaps, yes, perhaps we should talk to some of the neighbours.
How are you going to approach that? Are you going to get dressed up in British Gas uniforms, knock on the door, or simply wing it?
What do you think, chaps? I don't really have a.
Well, we don't for start off, we don't have British Gas uniforms.
Yes.
No.
So that we don't even have any ID, do we, or anything like that? So it's a case of
The idea you have is MI6.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one of us could just pretend to be a friend who's turned up looking.
Well, I'm just gonna get up and wander over to the door.
A long lost friend.
Yeah, we'll go over and knock on the door.
So
Let's see what happens.
the direct neighbour, or so that number 14. There's a guy at the front mowing his lawn.
Yeah.
Oldest chap, probably in his 70s. I'm going to be very stereotypical and say he's got a woolen waistcoat and a flat cap on because he's northern. So yeah.
Okay, so basically, I'll just walk over and go up to the door of the address, the one that our mark is a person of interest.
Yep. Yep.
Ding dong.
This is number 12.
Yeah, and I sort of like look around as if I'm,
Nothing.
Mm.
And you do notice that the guy that's mowing his lawn is kind of taking a sideways glance at you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you, being a foreigner and all?
Yeah.
Not from these parts.
One of those from down south, isn't it? South of the border.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, sort of like overlook. Are the curtains open? Can I see inside the house?
Make a basic searching roll. Is it seek? What's it called? Might just be search. Shrink, sense trouble. Surveillance, medic planning.
So that's going to be.
Trust. I can't remember what. Infiltration will work just as well if you've got that. If we can't find what Oxy name it's called.
Yeah, I've got infiltration, so I'll try
Okay.
that.
Basic infiltration, because you're just looking for the window. So you don't need to worry about it's to be a 3, really.
Right. Okay. So it's just D6, yeah.
D6.
Unfortunately, I've got twice, but I've got 6 anyway. So I'm
That's good.
perfect. Okay.
So you look into the window, and by sheer chance, the sun has hit the back of the house at the right time, and it's illuminated the front room.
Okay.
It looks like a rather dated-looking room, very 1970s. Doesn't look that lived in. There is a digital flat screen TV.
Yeah, but there's no. I'm assuming the TV's off, and there's no sort of like.
Yeah, everything's off.
Yeah.
It just looks like there's nobody been there for a little bit. But also outside, grass is slightly higher. The dry patch on the oil. It just you get a sense that nobody's been there for a week or two, maybe.
Okay.
As you're looking through the dirty curtains, net curtains, you hear, "I'll do." As a lawnmower stopped. Can I help you?
I said, yeah.
You're not from round here. I can't do an accent.
Yeah, don't. If you do it, I'll be forced to do it, and we don't want to go down to those levels.
No.
I'll say, yeah. I'm just looking for
extra points if you remember his name.
Oh, it was Akira, wasn't it?
Mr. Bryce.
Yeah, Akira Bryce. What was it? Adam Bryce.
Adam Bryce.
Adam Bryce.
It was Adam. Adam. I know it was something beginning with A because you said we only found the A listings. Yeah, I'm looking for Adam. Is he around?
Nope, it's not here. He's away.
Oh, okay. That's a shame. So how long have you been away for?
Where are we? Thursday. 4 weeks?
No, okay. That's a shame because he sent the I haven't seen him since our military days, and he's he said come up here and it's welcome to pop in any time. And obviously, I was coming in the area. I thought I'd call in, but obviously he's not around. So
he's on tools in the North Sea.
Is that what he's doing now? Oil rigs.
Yep, that's what he says. Don't know enough about the army. We see him once every 6 weeks. Pops round for coffee.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, it looks like I've got a wasted journey then. Okay, thanks a lot, and I'll just wander off.
Okay. You walk back to the car, and after you get in the car and start to drive off, you then hear the lawnmower start again.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So he's possibly on oil rigs then.
Well, at least that's what he's telling him.
That's what he's telling him, isn't it? So.
Although, if you can find an uncapped oil rig, that would make a rather good stone frigate. You think?
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're on about is disused oil rig, yeah?
Yes, you essentially want to find satellite imagery of the North Sea, looking for heat and EM blooms from officially capped oil rigs. Assuming he's on an oil rig, and that is what the stone frigate is.
Well, it sort of makes sense. Okay, I'll ring. I'll get on the phone to Jackson.
Yep.
And
Have you?
I'll
Are
ask-
you the phone the phone answered. He goes, "Are you fucking lost already?"
No, we want. I can't remember the name of the lad. Oh, who's the one that does the computer search?
Roddy Ho.
Pardon?
Roddy.
Yeah.
Roddy. Yeah.
Get Roddy to do a search on uncapped oil rigs in the North Sea.
So he's going to ignore your arrogance in telling a superior to just get Roddy to look on the database, and I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
So in the meantime, what are you going to do whilst you wait for Roddy to find anything?
Well, no, it's a bit dark. No, I can't even do that. I know it's a bit daft, but I'm gonna bit left field. I'm gonna start going through Google Maps Street View.
Yep.
And call up a picture of call up the thing of the street and see whether there's a picture of a car or something in the on the random occasion that there may be.
Yeah. So they kind of
Maybe a
update
car
their
sitting on the
satellites every so often,
Yeah.
and you see there is an image of a street view. Yes, there is an image of a what car would it be? It's a Renault Fuego blue.
Okay. Yeah. And any chance we can make out what the number plate is?
No, I don't think you can on Street View.
No, so the only reason I ask is is at work this week. Someone was showing me where a drop was, and there's a picture of one of our vans outside, and we could figure out who the person, who the driver was. So that's where that's come
Okay.
from. It's sort of,
Also, should we consider if there's a service alley behind the terraced houses that we can maybe sneak in?
Yeah.
And
So
back
these,
of the house.
I'm going to be assume that this is what all northern towns look like, but the houses kind of back onto each other with an alley down the back where the kids play football.
Yeah.
And
Quite a lot.
you know,
Mugger's
smoke
Alley.
and whatnot. Yeah, there's lots of choppers and grifter bikes, and so it's the 70s.
Yeah, that's going back.
I had a grifter.
It'd be more like
Bloody
BMXs, wouldn't they, or something like that?
Yeah, mountain bikes and motorized scooters and stuff. But yeah, so there is an alleyway that goes down the back. But yes, there was a Nissan Fuego, which I always thought quite an interesting car, an 80s oddity. Made from 80 to 86. It doesn't matter because that's the first car I come up with. So I don't think vaguely because I think there's only a few left in the UK. I don't think there's many on the road But anyway, interesting. That's moot. It's not relevant other than I had to pick a car. So yes, there is an alleyway that goes down the back. It's got 10 houses either side. It's not that hard to figure out which is the correct house.
Mm-hmm.
You can't drive down there; you have to walk down there.
Okay. As we go down, I'm just going to keep an eye out.
Well,
can I do sort of like walk down the alley?
So
Can
you
I
could
sort
do
of like make a search to see
intrusion.
Yeah, I just want to see whether there's any CCTV. I can't even say it.
CCTV. That's great.
Cameras. Cameras covering the.
It's surveillance.
I
think that's the skill.
I've got reasonably good surveillance. Also got infiltration.
Yeah, either one of those.
I've got
Both of
surveillance.
those. Yep. Glasses. So,
if you drop
Someone
me
else
off,
there?
if you drop me off at the top of the alley, then I'll just sort of amble down and walk past, and then just scout around. Maybe meet you at the other end of the alley.
Okay.
straight road. That's very simple to do. Drop them off one alley and drive round and wait the other side. So, if you make a infiltration surveillance roll, so it's a base of 3 because there's, it's just a housing estate.
Just a question of how much. So I've got infiltration 4 and surveillance 5.
So you could spend nothing, roll a d6, and see what you get, or spend a couple of points. It's how important you think this roll is. If you're essentially going around the book back, looking over a gate, and looking at the cameras.
It's more to see whether there's any CCTV coverage.
Yeah, so it's not like this isn't a case where there is a clue there for you to find. This is an additional thing you're trying to do. So roll 1d6 and get over 3. It's a 50-50 chance. Put 1 on it.
I'll just take the. Okay. You still got it. Yep, you did it.
Yeah. So does it look to be well covered? I imagine it would be fairly tight, being an SBS guy.
Yep. So you go down to the back alley. There appears to be a large padlock on it. You can look over, and you can see a camera pointing to the back alleyway.
Okay.
You can't remember whether you saw a camera out the front, but you saw a camera at the back alleyway.
Okay. Yeah, I'll continue on and report my findings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there does appear to be a camera. Can't remember. Did you guys see one up front?
We weren't looking.
It just looks like a Ring camera, so doesn't look especially special, but obviously they are motion sensitive, and that will pop up on anyone's phone that's got access.
It's also if these guys are SBS, they're going to be using military tech, so they could quite easily have it. It might look like a Ring camera, but it's a lot more.
Yeah, so it might be worth doing a runner.
Well, so trying to sneak in there is probably not a good idea.
If somebody is watching us, they're probably trying to figure out who we are.
Yep.
Okay. What next? The car hasn't been here, it seems, for a while. We've no idea how long it might be before he comes back.
Maybe another 2 weeks, because he's been away 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago, you saw the Frager.
So perhaps we should. Well, I don't know. Perhaps we should follow another lead and come back in a couple of weeks.
Well, you could go to a hotel and or go to a coffee shop so you can wait for Roddy to bring you back up again. Which I think there's a good moment to kind of call it a day there. You get to a coffee shop, sit down, having a coffee. Half an hour later, you get a phone call, and Roddy says he's sending you some secure documents, and there are photographs of just off the coast in the North Sea of blue plumes of EM and heat coming from a stone, what are they called? An oil rig that is listed as being decommissioned.
That could be his own frigate.
So that's possibly your stone frigate. So I think that's a good moment to leave it just for this session because it's a bit odd.
Sure.
Ready for next session.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kevin, for doing that. Anyway.
Yes.
No problem.
Thanks, Kevin.
Need
No,
a bit.
Thank you.
Need a bit of normality.
Yeah. Anyway.
Great stuff. No, it's very
As I
good
say,
of you considering.
Yeah. As I say, all we can wish you best, best wishes.